Hello guys, welcome to a new video of the Robert James Fischer series. Today we'll look at maybe one of the best game of Fischer ever. It's a game of Bobby Fischer against Donald Byrne in 1956. Bobby Fischer is only 13 years old here. He plays against Donald, who is a really well-known US player. He was in the top 5. And this game is studied by so many chess players, and it will be studied for so many years to come. The game was so brilliant that Donald Byrne, who's a really good player, after he saw the complications and he saw that it was slowly getting into a lost position, he asked other competitors, should I let the kid checkmate me or not? Because it was just so brilliant. The other competitors looked and they said, sure, why not? And I think that's a really gentleman way to lose this game. So credits to Donald. He was an international master during this time. Bobby was still a national master. His rating is estimated around 2400, and Bobby was around 2321. And let's see, Donald starts with knight f3. Bobby Fischer really liked to play the King's Indian defense, so he goes knight f6, probably wanting to go for his King's Indian. Now comes c4, g6, and knight c3. Bishop g7, d4, and now comes castles. We develop the bishop to f4, and now comes d5. And now, instead of a King's Indian defense, we transpose into the Grunfeld defense. And the Grunfeld is so sharp, it has so many subvariants, it has a lot of theory. So we could have also, like the classical way to come into the Grunfeld is d4, knight f6, c4, g6, and knight c3, and d5. This is a more classical way to come into the Grunfeld. But they played it a different variant. Now comes queen to b3, and queen b3 is actually the Russian variation. After d takes c4, queen takes c4. You can see white's position is really nice. He has a lot of pieces developed. He will push e4, and black, okay, his advantage is that he already castled, and he wants to chip away at the center and try to attack. So Bobby Fischer starts with c6, still theory, taking away the squares, e4, and now a knight b to d7, developing his first piece. He probably wants to bring to knight to b6. Also, the knight only had one square to really develop to, either a6 or d7. And now comes rook to d1. Simply defending a central pawn can never be a bad idea. He could have also played bishop e2 and castle, but knight d1 is fine. Now comes knight to b6, attacking the queen. The queen has to move. You just develop with tempo. And he develops the queen to c5. Till now, it's a really normal opening. They both know the theory very well. And yeah, nothing spectacular. Now comes queen to, or bishop to g4, pinning this knight, maybe wanting to double. And here Donald Byrne plays the first, yeah, it's a bit of a weird move. I think a lot of players would play bishop e2 here, like very solid players like Karpov. They would probably all develop their bishop and just castle, defend the knight, and just, yeah, have one move left to castle. But here Donald plays bishop g5. And bishop g5, you still have 2 moves left to castle. And here you're giving black a chance to double, but you also give black this amazing move. And this move really started the ball rolling and setting up this brilliancy. Bobby Fischer starts with knight a4. This is the first brilliant move. Well, why is this brilliant? Can we not just simply take the knight? No one is defending it. Like, the queen is not even defending it. What's so brilliant about this? So if you take the knight, we can take the e4 pawn. We just lured away a defender. Now, you can say, okay, the queen is attacked. but I can simply take another pawn. You just took my pawn. I will take the pawn back and attack your queen. Well, if you take the e7 pawn, I can take your queen. You will take my queen. And I don't rush to take your knight. I will first give a check. You have to play bishop e2. And now I can take your knight. Material-wise, this is equal, but your bishop is hanging. The b2 pawn is hanging. My bishop is really active. You still have to castle. And this is just a very pleasant position for black. So you actually cannot take the knight. Well, okay, Donald saw this variation I just showed you. So he says, okay, let me bring the queen back to a3. But now, Bobby Fischer has another really nice idea. He plays knight takes c3. Well, what's so nice about this idea? We can just take back with the pawn, and you just help me with my central control. Like, I control way more central space right now. Well, we just took away the defender of the e4 pawn, which was Bobby's idea, his initial idea with the knight jump. We can still go for this idea. Well, am I not giving away a fork here? Basically, bishop attacking both, and it's defended, right? Well, not really, because now Bobby Fischer plays queen to b6, and you cannot actually take this rook. Why? If you take the rook, I take back with the bishop, with tempo. You have to move the queen. b3 is the best move. We're up in exchange, so why not just exchange the queens as white? Well, here we have this amazing move, which is knight takes c3. Well, why is this amazing? Can I not just take it? No, you can't, because then you will lose the queen. So you cannot take the knight. And after knight takes c3, well, okay, you can take the queen. You're up in exchange. We lost the pawn, but black's compensation is that he has so much activity. Like, you still have to bring out the bishop. Your rook is under attack. This rook's doing nothing. You have to move this rook first, and then simply we can double the pawns. And this is just a terrible position. I can bring the bishop to b5, and this is just terrible, right? So you cannot take the rook. So after bishop takes e7, we have queen to b6. And here Donald Byrne says, okay, I cannot take a piece again for the second time. Let me then develop my bishop and try to castle. So bishop c4. And here Bobby Fischer plays this amazing move. He takes the pawn anyway. Well, okay, in this other variation, the bishop was on f8 and I could get pinned, right? Why can I not just take it right now? Well, if you take it right now, the c3 knight, I can simply play rook a to e8. And you cannot simply defend this because it's pinned. You will lose it. The best way is to just castle. I will take your bishop. Material-wise, we're equal again, but black's compensation is that he's so much more active, and this is a very pleasant position. So, again, for the third time, you cannot take this piece. Wow, that's simply brilliant, right? So, here, Donald Byrne saw this variation again. Like, you also have to respect him for seeing all those variations, because all the time he doesn't take. So he says, okay, let me bring back the bishop to c5, attack your queen, and show me what you have now. Both pieces are hanging, right? What you gonna do now? And Bobby Fischer says, okay, I'll first give you a check, checking the king. Your king really has to move. King f1. And now we have, this is simply, in my opinion, one of the best moves ever in chess. Bobby Fischer plays bishop e6. And this move is just so nasty. Like, wow. Again, you cannot take the queen. And this is the most complicated one in my opinion. Like, why can I not just take the queen? Well, Donald Byrne says, okay, let me just take the queen. I don't see it. Let's see what happens. Here, Bobby Fischer takes the bishop. We check you. And now we're in a position which is called a windmill. And that's basically a position. As you can see, the king only has one square to go to. It cannot come in here because of the rook. It has to go to g1. But now we can check you again with the knight. Knight to e2 check. King to f1. Knight to d4 check. You cannot take it because you're in check again. It cannot come in. You have to go back and forth. And this is a windmill where you have to go back and forth, and I can check you every time and take a piece or a pawn. So you go back, knight to e2 check, king to f1, knight to c3. You have to go back again. And I'm not taking the rook yet. I'm first taking the bishop. Your queen is under attack. Your queen has to move. Donald goes to a b4, wanting to take the bishop. I'm not taking yet. I'm first protecting my bishop. All those pieces are protected. You cannot take either one of them. You have to move your queen again. So Donald says, okay, let me take the pawn then. And now knight takes the rook. And if you count the material, 2 rooks, 2 bishops, and a knight against a queen, a knight, and a very, very sad rook, this is simply winning for black. Like, there's not much you can do here. So in this position, most grandmasters would probably nowadays just resign. There's literally no hope here. There's not much to do. But Donald, as I say, he's a really gentleman for playing this out. He plays h3, giving some space for his king. Now rook takes, king to h2. Knight takes f2, and yeah, there's not much to do here. Rook to e1, exchanging the rooks, and before taking the rook back, Donald first gives a check, pinning the bishop, so the bishop cannot move, and now he takes the rook. Now simply bishop d5, a very nice square for the bishop, eyeing this pawn. And now comes a knight to f3. We can actually just simply take, but Bobby probably didn't want to lose this bishop right now. Knight to e4, bringing it back. And now queen to b8, attacking this pawn, simply b5. And if you look at Bobby's position, every piece on the board and every pawn is simply defended. Like, there's no piece or pawn which is undefended. So, okay, you have a queen, but it can attack no piece or pawn at all. Like, you can do literally nothing because everything is defended in this position. So here, yeah, Donald Byrne just plays h4, h5, stopping this pawn, knight to e5, simply king g7, going out of the pin. Now king to g1, bishop c5 check, king to f1, knight g3 check. You have to move like this. The king is kind of dancing to the side here. It has to move, like there's no other square to go to. And now bishop b4 check, you have to move again. Bishop b3 check, you have to move again. Knight e2 check, move again. Knight c3 check, you have to move back. And now there are two ways to checkmate you. Either bringing the bishop here, which would lead to checkmate like this, in which all squares are attacked, or in his face, which Bobby decided to play for, rook c2, checkmate. The rook is defended, it's taking those squares. The knight is taking those squares, and you're checking with the rook, and this is basically checkmate. And wow, simply, I mean, it just brings a smile to my face how beautiful this game is. Yeah, Bobby Fischer was also only 13 years old here, so he really showed the world with this game what was about to come later on. And this game will be studied for many, many years to come. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.